I think that's where Eagles fans really want to feel vindicated, because I see it on social media too. Every week, Jalen can't throw. Jalen can't do this. Jalen can't do that. He's not a real quarterback. Well, he proves he's a real quarterback. Then you hear crickets, but then they're like, oh, well, it's easier to do it when you have A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith. That's why they get upset.
No. Let's go to the main man. Jeff Kerr set to join us right here on Birds 365. Jeff, you are a Birds 365 fan favorite. He comes here now. Jeff Kerr joining us on the show at Jeff Kerr CBS. You can follow him and read all his work at cbssports.com. Jeff, good morning to you, my friend. How are you on this Monday morning?
I'm like you guys. I picked the Eagles to win, so I guess I should feel vindicated by that.
You got to eat crow. Yeah, I heard a lot of scared people during the week. Oh, how are they going to go there and win? I'm like, the styles make fights. They're going to win the game. Zander can tell you. I told that all week. Now, it went differently than I thought. And the Eagles, Jalen admitted the whole game plan was to go in there and get the running game going. So it's a weird team, Jeff, man. All of a sudden, they show up with this kind of passing performance. There was no evidence that this was coming, but there it is. So how does that translate to you moving forward?
I'm going to back Zander up here on the whole Jalen. I got the numbers in front of me. So Zander says Jalen's got to play like that every week to win. I agree, but this is Jalen Hurts since week 3, by the way. This is the week that they got everything going, the passing game. He is 5th in the NFL in passer rating. He is 4th in completion percentage. Since week 3, he is 3rd in passing yards. He's 4th in yards per attempt. It's a top 5 quarterback, and that's what he's playing like. So,
all right, now I'm going to attack your level of statistics because this game is an outlier. Again, DeVonta Smith went from whatever to number 6 in the NFL in receiving yards.
Crazy, isn't it?
Because of one game. This is why football is not baseball. Football is not the large sample size. You have these games where, and I've compared it to a 50-point score in the NBA. That's what this was. This was a 50-point game, score game in the NBA. That doesn't translate to a consistent, 158.3 ain't going to be consistent. I made that prediction on the postgame show, Jeff. There's 10 games left in the regular season. I'm going to take under on 158.3 in all of them.
It's only happened 3 times in Eagles history.
That's Sunday why I'm taking the under. So why are we putting stock in these numbers other than to say it was a great individual performance on October 19th in Minneapolis? Why are we giving it more weight than that? Where's the evidence to give it more weight than that?
Well, he still doesn't turn the football over.
That's consistent over a long period. That I agree with. That's phenomenal.
But, I mean, that was the best I've ever seen him throw the ball. And keep in mind, this guy won a Super Bowl MVP. I've seen Jalen Hurts throw the football really well, second half of the Rams game, but that was the best I've ever seen him in terms of getting the deep pass. And when they completed the deep bomb to DeVonta Smith, I'm thinking they had that play last week. They had it. And what bothers me about this whole thing, and this isn't a Jalen thing, are you going to give Kevin Patullo credit for that second half? Because he's still the offense coordinator. He's still calling the plays.
Well, that's another thing. Well, even the so on the first drive, the 4th and 4th play, which turned into the long A.J. Brown touchdown, I think it was 37 yards. If you watch that play, A.J. had basically given himself up and just stopped running and then just started again when the pass rush didn't get home because everybody was assuming that this is such a weird team. I'm looking at the play right now. It just happened to pop up. And I'm like, the only person who deserves credit there, well, I shouldn't say only, offensive line. Certainly Kevin Patullo had nothing to do with it.
That was AJ.
That was all Jalen. All Jalen.
Jeff, should this team become a passing team? If you can't run the ball, John said this before the game yesterday. If you can't run the ball versus this team, we got problems.
Yeah,
They
I
could
think
pass the ball versus the number 2 pass defense versus Brian Flores, and they did it to the tune of what they did. Now, I'm not saying he's got to have a perfect passer rating every week, but I am wondering if we need to shift the way this team plays offense as compared to how it played last year, where Saquon's just not running the ball well. It's a lot of the offensive line, but they don't look like they're getting any healthier, certainly not right now. Should we be a passing team, Jeff?
I already said it. They're becoming a passing team. They are a passing team. It's Saquon Barkley cannot get a 10-yard run to save his life. Tank Bigsby can, but Saquon can't.
Yeah. Well, he had one that got called back for holding, I think.
Yeah, he did. And again, I
but it was legit holding, so it doesn't. Yeah.
I talked to enough running backs. When you don't get those big runs early in the season, they tend to agree and disagree with me on this, but it's definitely in the back of their minds, like, am I ever going to get another big run again? Because it's hard to get these runs, and Saquon's just not doing it. And their run game is now 31st in yards per carry. It's 30. They only average 88.4 yards per game. This is a passing team by accident, really. They're forced to become a passing team. They ran the ball, I thought, well in their first drive, but then Minnesota stopped it. I don't know if it's the injuries in the offensive line. I don't know if it's the blocking. I don't know if it's the communication. Jordan Malai always says one block away. It might be more than that.
Yeah, I agree. At this point, I'm very concerned. Now, Zander brought up, I said, if you can't, and I did say, if you can't run against this team, it's an issue. I didn't expect them to show up and play the way they played. They did sell out to stop the running game after that first drive. So I didn't expect them to play that way. So I give the Eagles a lot of credit for that's where Kevin Patullo deserves credit. They adjusted. Jalen said that was the whole plan. We knew it in the locker room. We talked to guys in the locker room all week. They were going to run the football. AJ was kind of pissed off again because they were going to run the football. And he made those quotes, I think, to EJ Smith, where he's like, yeah, I almost like he's given up. And then they toggle in game, which I think is, again, everybody talks about adjustments. They adjusted. And it worked out well. Here's my question moving forward. And I don't know if this team exists, but if this team exists, stop the run with 4 up front, get a good pass rush as well, and just play Tampa 2 all game. Can they beat that team? That's what I need to see.
I'm curious about that too.
I mean, if that team does it, does that team exist though?
I don't know.
Then it's like, are we fighting a ghost? I mean, are we waiting for something?
Well, there's going to be more of that there's going to be more teams playing zone than what you saw yesterday. But
you're going to see the Cowboys playing in Week 11.
The best majority of the 10 games left are going to play far more zone than you saw yesterday.
The Eagles took advantage of the Vikings playing man-to-man. They knew Isaiah Rodgers in the back of their head and said, we're going after him. We're going to see how good he actually became. And I think it was more A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith, like, knowing their opponent.
I think I want to see this team just embrace this a little bit more. I understand it's not, we talk about it all the time. It's not how they're built. It's not what the quarterback wants to do. But I'd rather them do it this way and it not work. And at least we know. Then sit here and try and jam the square peg into the round hole when it's not working and say, oh, they can't be a passing team. Start passing the ball. If it's not working, start passing the football. You got A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith. You saw what they were capable of yesterday. Now, I know the defenses are going to change, but I still think they can build on this and pass the ball more.
Yeah, I think they are becoming a passing team, Zander.
I do too.
I think it's been like that.
Stats to back it up since week 3.
I mean, they're one of the better passing offenses in the league since then. It's really since the second half of that Week 3 game. My biggest concern with this offense was, I tweeted it during the game yesterday, they were like 3 for, I think it was like 24 or something on third down, dating back to the Denver game going in the halftime. They fixed that in the second half a little bit, but they were in a lot of third and long.
Did they fix it? Because they converted. Those were the biggest plays of the game. But every single one of them, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 15, the 3rd and 13, in my opinion, was the biggest play of the game.
Yeah, that was.
For all Jalen Hurts off schedule.
Jalen was unreal on third down. 7 of 8, 145 yards. That's
mean,
unreal.
and there were 3rd and longs, dude. They weren't 3rd and 4.
Yeah.
I mean, we had some 3rd and longs that he converted were really impressive.
You know what? I think that's where Eagles fans really want to feel vindicated, because I see it on social media too. Every week, Jalen can't throw. Jalen can't do this. Jalen can't do that. He's not a real quarterback. Well, he proves he's a real quarterback. Then you hear crickets, but then they're like, oh, well, it's easy to do it when you have A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith. That's why they get upset.
No,
Well,
I'm not saying that. But I do
that's
think it's fair to look. The Eagles need the elite quarterback to play elite week in and week out. I don't think that's bad to say. People are already on me, Zander, eat crow. I'm like, dude, this team needs a quarterback to play elite this year. That's what we need. Last year, Saquon Barkley led us, and the defense led us. This year, I don't think this team's going far unless Jalen is elite and back in the MVP conversation.
I think Jalen's won. I think Jalen's won 3 games for them this year, and that 3 of the 5 I think is on
yesterday.
Jalen.
Dallas week 1, and what's the third one?
Oh, the Rams game.
The Rams game. Yeah, it was me. Well,
he played well. He played well in the Bucs game too. So we can say that. I mean, look, I thought the game was, and I heard you guys say it earlier, the Vikings were 1 of 6 in the red zone. The defense came up big when they had to. They had 2 sacks in the red zone. Carson Wentz had those boneheaded plays he was making in the red zone. The intentional I mean, they kicked 5 field goals yesterday. I think 4 were in the red zone.
That intentional grounding, the fullback's wide open in the flat. What is he doing?
Yeah. They should have given up a touchdown.
I don't know if it would have been a touchdown, but it was the easiest throw. It was Gruden's banana play. It's the easiest throw. It's the first progression. We all know the progression. We've seen the play for 25 years. It's literally the first progression. It's in its face. It's wide open, and he doesn't throw it. He's a roller coaster. He's a weird dude, man.
I'm going to say this about the Eagles, too. I feel a lot better about them than I do watching half the league. More than half the league.
More than half the league.
I watched some good teams yesterday. One being the Packers. How the heck are they 4-1-1?
Yeah, they're not playing well, but they win.
Michael Parsons bailed them out yesterday.
Now, Mike had a big game, but why does that again? I'll take it back to Philadelphia then. Why is it? Well, the Eagles win. Why isn't it? Well, the Packers win because they win. They find ways to win. They find ways to persevere and win games. And yesterday was Micah. But guess what? Mike is healthy. Mike is going to be there. So that's a big part of the process when you play the Green Bay Packers. And that's why I think you're going to, when you're going to learn something about the Eagles, that back-to-back Green Bay, Detroit, that's when I think you're going to know where the Eagles are.
And you know what? You got Dallas right after that.
And those other teams as well. It works both ways. You're gonna kind of figure out, all right, who's really the top contender, because the Eagles are in that conversation. But here's what the only thing I'll say about Jeff, the 3rd and 9, the 3rd and 13, the 3rd and 15. So you had mentioned the struggles on 3rd down. That's not coaching. That's not game planning. That's not play calling. That's a quarterback making a play. And wide receivers. You got to give the wide receivers for credit for scramble drills. But that's not like something Ken Patullo looks down on a sheet and says, Jalen, go make a play. Like, how do people get excited about? That's something you can't count on. It's great when it happens. But if Minnesota has better rush discipline, there were a couple times I pointed out to Zander, he was ready to go down because he assumed the pass rush was going to be there, and it wasn't. And then he said, all right, I'll keep going.
Yeah, right.
But that's the kind of stuff that I think people take and say, well, that will translate. It's not going to translate. What you need is 3rd and 5 conversion. That's what you need. And right now, they're still not great at that.
They just can't run the ball.
Well, they haven't run the ball. But also, again, the same things don't change. And I know people are shitting on Zander.
Eat crow,
the ball doesn't come out on time too often. Because one team showed up and played a bunch of man coverage and thought Isaiah Rodgers could hold up against A.J. Brown. Does not translate.
You're going to see zone next week when you play the Giants.
Exactly.
Also, I kind of hope the Eagles get the Giants. They are going to get the Giants, a pissed off Giants team, because we got to talk about that. That was probably the worst coaching, execution, anything you can name in football in that fourth quarter by the Giants yesterday. That was horrible.
It was unbelievable. I did talk about it a little bit, that when they had the football and they were playing for a field goal in a situation where you knew the other team would only need a field goal to come back, I thought it was just egregious. But that it went back and forth. They lost a 19-point lead. And they had the big Tracy run, so that, that obviously was a big part of it, but earlier in the process. But once you get down to where they were and they're playing conservative, you're the New York Giants. What exactly are you playing conservatively for? What do you got to lose?
And then you get aggressive when you shouldn't be aggressive. When you're up 10, you throw that whatever play call that was on 3rd and 5 that was picked. I'm like, well, here it comes. It's always one or two plays that spark a comeback. That was one.
That was certainly one of them right there. Well, look, that team, that was a little bit of a deflator at the end of that game. I wonder how that affects them next week. I know John says there's no transitive properties, but sometimes momentum is a thing.
The Giants would have been better off if Dan Rule Jackson Dart scored a touchdown with 40-some seconds left. Remember they said the ball crossed the plane? I'm like, oh, they might have been better off not scoring, because they had the game won. And keep in mind,
they had to score a touchdown. It was first down, so they had plenty of time.
But they had plenty of time to score it, though. That's what I meant. Yeah. They could have run some more time off the clock.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not, but by the way, Nick Sirianni managed the end of that game. Not that, the Eagles were going to win beautifully, which he won't get credit for, but because there's so many bad game management coaches, and that's because they're bogged down with play calling. I firmly believe that. But look, the Giants are, Brian Daboll, he's trying desperately to hold on and and it's worked to a certain degree, because Knicks, not Knicks, I get those two confused, because they're very similar players, by the way. Bo Nix is kind of a wild card. Bakery Mayfield, Vic said it, and so is Dart. They're very similar players, but
big arms. They can move. The Broncos should actually run Bo Nix more than what they do.
Yeah, and up that end of the sequence, though. I mean, that's the type of aggressive that has made Sirianni, successful in this league. 3rd and 10 was. I don't know how much time was left, but if you don't convert that 3rd down there, the Broncos or not the Broncos, the Vikings are going to have a chance to come back in the game. They iced it. 3rd and 10, 45-yard go route to A.J. Brown. That was a good aggressive play call.
Yeah, well, that was Isaiah Rodgers' mistake, but that's one of those things where
he gave up 130 yards in coverage on Sunday.
Yeah, well,
the NFL pass ring allowed going in.
I saw the play. Like, Minnesota had a great defense for that play. That's why, again, play call is so nebulous. It's like actually they called them. They knew what they were doing. And they had Metellus dropping underneath, and Rodgers bit the cheese anyway, even though he had the help underneath. And his job was to make sure the go wasn't part of it. It was a sluggo. So it was a slant. The slant was covered by Metellus. The go was supposed to be covered by Rodgers. Rodgers jumped the slant, and then all of a sudden AJ's behind him.
Do you hear? Do you hear this week Isaiah Rodgers got on our buddy Ed Kratz?
Yeah. Well,
I wish sometimes players would just ignore things and stop trying to make it players versus media.
Well, and by the way, the Eagles wanted Isaiah Rodgers back. There's no doubt about that. 100%. They wanted him back. But again, he's not a great corner. He's a good corner. He's not a great corner. I said it all week. That is a mismatch for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yesterday. Because now nobody can use the PFF gradings for Isaiah, and that the Eagles let him go. Howie was thrilled with that yesterday. I'm sure.
To add to John's point about the Jalen Hurts stuff we were talking about earlier, that's all he really had was a great game earlier in the season. It was like an all-time game.
Yeah, it was one of yeah, exactly. It's an outlier. He had the defensive version of what Jalen had yesterday. Yeah, he had the
I want to see Jalen Hurts let it fly more, man. I hope this is the start of the next.
I mean, in a way, he is, Zander. He is.
I know he is, but I want to see it. I think this is the way this team is going to have to play.
All right. I'm gonna talk you off the ledge, Zander. You want to see him let it fly if somebody's just playing cover two, just two safeties back and playing in the parking lot. Like the guys are streaking wide open. DeVonta Smith and A.J. Brown before the defense because they're playing man coverage for the most part, and they're trying to blitz. And if you're playing cover two and you're throwing those throws, it's an interception. But yeah,
unless you thread the needle with the throw, yeah.
Well, you get a whole shot in cover two if they're doing their job. I'm not talking about blown coverages. I'm saying if they're doing their jobs. You're not getting behind a cover two safety, so you got to take the whole shot in between the corner and the safety.
Field, yeah.
You're going to see a ton of cover two next week. Packers game, definitely in the Cowboys game. You're definitely going to see that. They played a ton yesterday against Washington. Jay and Daniels have lost.
I just don't get where. If you're telling me, John, that I should walk off the ledge on that, where? What is the
I'm saying under center 79 yard touchdown.
What's the plan for success though with this offense if it's not pass the ball? Right now they cannot run the ball.
Again, it's boring, but Nick says first of all, you have to, and that's where I give the Eagles coaches credit yesterday. They came in with their game plan. It wasn't working and they shifted. So you have to make adjustments to what's going on defensively. They expected to see a different style of defense than they saw, and they took advantage. They shifted, and they took advantage of Isaiah Rodgers, and to a lesser degree, the other corner, Murphy. They took advantage of that because they left him out on an island. And that's a Brian Flores problem. That's not an Eagles problem. They took advantage of it way too much. They should have been playing a shitload of cover too because they don't have good corners against good receivers.
Right.
Question, guys. I don't want to look too far ahead. I know we got the Giants next week. Is Shane Bowen their defensive coordinator next week? Because Brian Burns had some damn.
He was upset, man. He was upset. And he should be. He should be. They're
rushing 3.
They're rushing 3. But by the way, I hate that. Flores rushed 3 on the first AJ touchdown. He rushed 3, dropped 8 in the coverage. But
and it's not like the Giants don't have the horses.
I'm all for I'm advocating for Brian Burns. That was stupid.
I am too. 9 sacks this year, 2 sacks on Sunday, 10 pressures. And
how many sacks is he up to? He has 9 sacks already?
He has 9 sacks. Yep.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So you're playing.
That is crazy.
So you can't give up a field goal in Denver, where has a history, obviously mile high, of long kicks, and everybody's kicking long kicks, but even more so in that environment. And you're playing coverage. Yeah, Brian Burns should have started a mutiny as far as I'm concerned.
Is it bad when I was watching that game yesterday and hearing the crowd saying how much I'm going to miss that stadium when it's gone in 5 years?
No. Why would?
Because everything is becoming a Costco stadium. Everything.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that stadium in Minnesota is freaking awesome.
Oh, it is. And that's what they all want to do. They're all trying to emulate that.
Yeah, that Minnesota Stadium is crazy. All right, John.
I don't like Tennessee Stadium, by the way.
We got to.
They're getting a new one.
Offense.
Well, yeah, that's why I meant the new one.
Yeah.
What is the plan then? Like if you're telling me, John, that I shouldn't be calling for more passing, which I
No,
understand.
I didn't
why.
say that. I'm saying you
Well,
shouldn't.
you're just giving me an alternative view of it, right? Where it's not going.
I'm saying you shouldn't expect what you expect yesterday.
No, I'm not expecting that. I'm not expecting.
That's what I'm trying to say. I think they should pass it more. I think they should be able to pass it more consistently. I thought that for a long time, but understand that's a very unique team. I said it before the game. You're not going to see the style of defense that they play because nobody plays that style of defense but them. So you're going to see more conventional stuff. And my thought is that you're going to see a lot of cover two because the Eagles have struggled passing the football against zone coverage this season. That's my guess. I have no idea if it's going to shake out like that, but I find it very hard to believe. I said the same thing during the Super Bowl. I was counterintuitive to everybody else because they said, well, Spagnuolo stopped Saquon, so that's what everybody's going to do. And I said, how many times did I say that? Yeah, it didn't work. You got to come up with something else.
All right,
Same
so
thing
what's the offensive plan like going into the Giants next week?
Well, the Giants are going to put it on their front four and say, we're going to get home with 4, and they're going to play a lot of zone. That's what they did in the first game. AJ was first.
The offensive plan should be what?
Oh, the offensive plan is you need to throw the football more until you can figure out the run game, which I don't know how they're going to figure out, but you have, and that's the problem. Can they consistently do that against zone covers? To date, we haven't seen that, but they're going to have to do that. That means more patience. That means the ball coming out on time. Like you talked about those hole shots. Guess what? That fucking football's got to be on time. Otherwise, you're eating it or it's getting picked off. And we all know how ball security conscious Jalen Hurts is. So I still need to see that. I still need to see the trains on schedule, so to speak.
Yeah, I get that. And I think that's probably the one thing you didn't see yesterday in terms of you still don't see any of the easy stuff, John. Like you've been talking about, give them a layup. You don't see any of the easy completions still. Like a lot of their game yesterday was downfield. I mean, Hurts had 19 completions and he had
5 of 5 with 20.
But he had like 300. What do you have? 328 passing yards or 326 or something. And 19
only threw 23 passes.
Right. That's what I mean. So it's like, I would like to see them get more of that involved in the game. And I think that's on Patullo a little bit more, but
Well, you can't scheme up guys running wide open behind the defense unless the defense is allowing you to have one-on-one matchups and not playing well on top of it. I mean, let's be honest. How open was DeVonta Smith?
Open.
How open was AJ Brown on the last play of the game and the 4th and 4 to start the game?
The 4th and 4 was wide open. That was a terrible. I mean, it's a good thing Jalen told him to keep going because that was not a good looking 4th and 4 play.
No, it was not. It was not.
And again, we're not going to see that with a cover 2 or a cover 2 press, or we're just not going to see that. But that's where the layup comment comes in. That's where you got to take advantage of those open seams in the middle of the field. Maybe that's where Dallas Goedert gets involved again.
Guys, they say 3 games in the NFL is a trend, right? How about Jalen Hurts' running stats for the last 3 games? I don't think he's ever
he runs the ball. I wasn't aware.
Well, last 3 games he hasn't, Jeff. Last 3 games he had Minnesota. He had 4 carries for minus 10 yards yesterday. So whatever.
A lot of it was kneel down.
Kneel downs at the end.
That was kind of a bullshit. But anyway, he didn't have any big. The game before, 7 carries for 13 versus the Giants, and then 2 carries for 3 yards versus the Broncos. That's a trend. So I wonder, if defenses are taking that away, if he's less looking to do it, more looking to move the ball through the air. Obviously, a big increase in passing numbers the last couple games. So
it's a combination. They're taking that away. He's getting a lot of blitzes because he's been facing Todd Bowles and he's been facing who's Denver's defense? All of a sudden, I'm drawing a blank. Who's Denver's defensive coordinator?
Vance Joseph.
Vance Joseph. Thank you. So losing that. Shane Bowen blitzes a lot. He's facing a lot of blitzing, and he's going to face Bowen this week.
They've struggled against the blitz until yesterday. No, struggled against zone. They've done very well against the blitz. So I think that's a 180 from what had happened going into this season with Jalen Hurts. It was the opposite. So again, the very strangeness of this particular team. Now he's great against the blitz and struggling against zone. So if you're a defensive coordinator, you're like, what the freak did I do? But to point out the running game, again, I go back to 3rd and 9, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 50. Well, what if he runs and gets 7 yards and 8 yards? And you might say, oh, the rushing numbers look good. But no, he kept the football and he made plays in the passing game. So I don't really care again about the numbers. And certainly yesterday's numbers running looked bad because he was taking losses late in the game to run out the clock as well.
Well, I did think I told you this, John, in the opening segment. I thought one of the things I liked yesterday was Jalen kept his eyes downfield when he got out of the pocket. And he made a lot of those big plays downfield.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll take those over a 7-yard run.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. But it would look good in the stat book if you had 3 for 21. But you're not getting those big conversions. So people have to be careful.
A lot of that +1 gets taken away with the blitz.
Oh yeah. Well, if you do it right, you pen them in, and but it's not easy to do either. I mean, Minnesota was using a spy. Like if you watch that 4th and 4, they rushed 3, they had a spy, and the play didn't get home, and the play kept going and going and going, and Jalen just told AJ to go up the field, and I mean, the defense has to execute as well, and the defense didn't execute. But you can see from a defensive perspective, like if you're the coach, that worked. The execution, the players didn't do it. You can't just let the quarterback stay back there for a minute and a half in a rocking chair. I mean, somebody's got to break through. So from their standpoint, they shut off what the Eagles wanted to do. And it's just, they extended the play, and that's that's a check mark to Jalen Hurts. That's actually, and this is the interesting part about football. So that play is a huge play for the Philadelphia Eagles, right? That's a negative check mark to Kevin Patullo and a positive check mark to Brian Flores, and the Eagles scored a touchdown. Right. Now, how much sense does that make to people? The average football fan doesn't make sense. To coaches, it makes perfect sense.
This is an interesting team, guys. It's really an interesting football team right now. I mean,
it's a week-to-week league, Andrew.
I know it is. It is. It's an interesting league. There's no doubt about it. Jeff, what'd you make of the DeVonta Smith calling his shot on the sideline? Apparently that was talked about big, and, fans are going crazy about that. Even DeVonta has to call the easy plays to see and all that. What did you make of it?
You know what? I didn't even know about till this morning. Before I came on the show, I was like, oh, this is a thing. Because once the Eagles game ended, I went to Cowboys game. I went, yeah, there were 4:00 games that. By the way, the 4:00 slate was so much better than the 1:00 slate this week. It wasn't even funny, but yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, oh, okay, like DeVonta's having some fun. I get it. I didn't hear that though. Oh, even DeVonta's calling his play. Is that what they were saying, Zander?
Well, that's the fan base. What's wrong
with
such a trend?
Weird the way he talked about it. I mean, one offensive lineman said he was even vouching to Landon Dickerson to get the offensive line on board, and I'm like, well, this guy's got to collude with every person.
You got a lot. No, you got a lot. Why do people think this is unique? Yeah, anybody ever see Travis Kelce yelling at Andy Reid on the sidelines?
Why? No, because they don't watch any other games.
But Andy Reid deserves the benefit of the doubt. Does Kevin Patullo?
The point is, it doesn't matter if it's Andy Reid or Kevin Patullo. Smart players lobby when they see something on the field. That's exactly what they should do. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah, you want that.
It is not rare. It is not unique. It happens every game in the NFL every week.
Jonathan Taylor did it to Shane Steichen yesterday.
Happens every week. look, they're doing this, they're doing that. We should do this. And then, yeah, I mean, it's up to the offensive coordinator to either implement it or say, hey, dude, go sit down. And some guys have bigger egos. And I often talk about coaching egos getting in the way because nobody knows what's going on the field better than the quarterback. So if you have a smart quarterback and a high football IQ quarterback, and you're not taking in his lobbying, you're a shitty coach.
No, I
Not
agree.
rare.
I mean, it's a good thing that they listen to him. I was just bringing up the perspective of everybody else.
I know what the trend is right now. Kevin Patullo is evil. That's pretty much.
I don't know if he's evil. He's just a dummy.
No, that too.
Well,
I heard people say, ship Kevin Patullo off to Penn State. I'm like, if you don't like him, why would Penn State like him?
I had some guy tweeting at me, James Franklin to be the OC. I'm like, what?
No, you don't want him either. By the way, James
I don't know
Franklin
where that came from. I got
State.
that though in my Twitter mentions a couple of times. Yeah, I forget who it was.
I got a kick out. I brought it up on the pregame show. Sills got mad at me because it's his buddy, but I got a kick out of the Patullo getting fired talk during the bye week, which is now over. So you can say, whoa, he figured it out. And then it goes away. But I on the back end of that, I get it like the James Franklin talk. Like, you think they're going outside the organization to bring in a big name in the middle of the season and start a whole new offense?
Yeah, that is not going to be good.
I mean, where do these people come up with this?
I think the Ravens in 2012 won after firing their offensive coordinator through I don't know how many weeks.
Yeah, they hired Jim Campbell was.
Yeah, Jim Caldwell.
Yeah, Jim Caldwell. I don't know why I said Jim Campbell. I was thinking Jim Campbell for some reason.
Was that
he was on their staff.
Cameron?
Yep, yeah. Cam Cameron, John fired middle of the season.
Wow, Cam Cameron might have been one of the worst head coaches I've ever seen.
No, guys get fired all the time, but you're
no, I was just saying there is an instance of having success after firing.
But it would be somebody on the staff.
It'd be like Scott Loffer or Parks Frazier or somebody.
Yeah, or most likely Jason Michael, as I said.
Yeah, Jason Michael. He's been there forever.
Well, he's been a coordinator. That's why. But yeah. But those are the three names you'd be talking about. Parks Frazier as well, as Jeff brought it, and Scott Leffler, the quarterback's coach. That's who you're talking about. You're not going out and getting insert big name.
Jeff, I got a question for you, and you're not going to like it. Is your boy Saquon Barkley washed? What's going on, man?
He's not washed, but I tried to tell people this is what happens after you run for 2,000 yards, and even he's disagreed with me on this.
I think it's more offensive line. I'm just asking the question.
Yeah, it's offensive line, but he had a lot of touches last year. Look, it happens. It happens to every 2,000-yard rusher known to man. The best season after a 2,000-yard season was Barry, and he wasn't the same player. He retired after that the year after the 2,000-yard season. He was done. So this happens. Saquon will be fine. He'll be back. It probably won't be till 26, but this is just the reality of it. You had 400 some touches last year. By the way, I'm going to say this right now, too, as someone who watched Sunday Night Football last night. The 49ers are done the second Christian McCaffrey runs out of gas, and they're running him out of gas fast.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
He had a great game, though.
I'm so glad George Kittle is back to be Christian McCaffrey's blocker, by the way.
Well, he can block. He's one.
I know, but you use him, and look, they used it well last night, but he blocked pretty much all 48 snaps.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Mac Jones should be a starting quarterback in this league. I'll tell you what.
DeVonta Smith, trust me, he loves him.
I'll tell you what, Mac Jones is way better than Michael Penix.
He's, well, I think Penix is fine. I think he's a starter. He didn't have a great game, obviously, but that's the NFL.
I don't take the Falcons seriously because of Michael Penix. I just don't. I don't see it.
Well, I don't think they're a contender.
He got a laser strap to his left shoulder.
Remember, when I say you're starting NFL quarterback, I mean you're one of the best 32 quarterbacks in the world. That's what I mean. I'm not saying Michael Penix is great, but he's certainly a deserving starting quarterback. But I think the same thing with Mac Jones, even though he wasn't great. McCaffrey was great.
McCaffrey was the offense last night.
Boy, he's back in when he's healthy, man. His ability in the receiving game is unbelievable.
Guys, 7 games into this thing, who do you think is emerging as the top NFC contenders? Or because John, I know we were, you were high on Packers early, and obviously they made the big.
Yeah,
trade.
they're not playing well,
They're
but they
not playing
win.
very well.
No.
They
But they
win, but
win.
Jordan Love.
You know who the number 1 seed's going to be if he stays healthy? It's going to be the 49ers because their schedule is
Their schedule's brutal.
I know,
But I don't know. Do you want
Nick Bosa? Are they going to be able to keep that up even with
Fred Warner?
They,
Fred Warner out.
We'll see, but McCaffrey's the one they can't afford to lose.
You see Bryce Huff making plays, by the way?
Bryce Huff looked explosive.
Well, look what happens when he's in the right system.
Yeah, well, that's part of it.
He didn't suck last year. The Eagles miscalculated, period.
Yeah, they did. He's not a bad.
So who do you guys
player.
think will be the biggest contenders then? Bucks, I think, are going to be there. I mean, they're playing great, even with all the injuries they've had.
I think Detroit's going to be there.
Detroit.
Tampa. I actually just did playoff predictions. This is going to change every week, right? I'm picking my 7 teams. I actually had the Eagles as the 4 seed just based on the schedules because of Tampa's schedule, San Fran's schedule. I'm assuming they're going to win the division. Who do they have winning the North? Oh, Green Bay.
Yeah,
I think the 3 best teams, not in order, so I get exact, are Green Bay, Detroit, Philadelphia. You can pick
LA's there too. The Rams are good, I think, too.
So Seahawks are good. That NFC West is brutal.
The Seahawks are good.
But
there's a bunch of good teams. So, by the way, those you can bring 3 more teams. You can bring Tampa Bay, Seattle, and the Rams, and they're a tick below. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I think those are the 3 best teams right now. But it wouldn't surprise me if any of those teams made it to the NFC Championship game.
So right now, the 7 teams that are in the playoffs, if we did the playoff picture, Tampa Bay's winning their division. Green Bay's win their division. Eagles are winning their division. 49ers win their division. The Rams, the Seahawks. There's another one. There's another one. Oh, and the Lions. I think they're the 7 playoff teams. I don't think that's going to change.
Yeah, those are and the NFC is much deeper than the AFC. The AFC is awful. Kansas City's going to the Super Bowl again. Kansas City's going to the Super Bowl again.
They're looking real good.
You know what's crazy, John? Right now, they're not one of the 7. I said they're going to be the 2 seed.
I'll tell you what, people are going to get pissed off, but I can't go through another Kansas City Eagles Super Bowl. And if Kansas City's going to be there, I can't have the Eagles there.
I can't
do it. I can't do it.
Come on, man!
I can't do it.
I'll tell you what.
Somebody's got to upset Kansas City. I can't stand that.
It's not going to be the Colts. It's not going to be them. They're good.
Well, I hope it. Now that I would love an Eagles Colts Super Bowl because Shane's a great.
Well, look
dude.
at the storylines.
Yeah. Well, don't even start me with the stupid sheep. That's the whole point. I don't want it. The stupid Chiefs Eagles storylines. Oh my God.
I love it.
Oh, Jeff, come on. Be honest.
You have Eagles Chiefs every year.
That is a shit show.
I care.
You're gonna find 2 weeks of all the bullshit, man. Oh, the NFL wants the Chiefs to win for 2 weeks. You're gonna get all that.
John, it would be glorious. I would be so excited if Eagles Chiefs.
Can't take it. Give me the call.
Between the NFL wants the Chiefs to win and the Eagles cheat because of the tush push is probably 2 of the funniest stories I've ever heard.
No, it's awful. It is the lowest common denominator meeting in the public square, and it's just incessant nonsense, and I can't deal with it.
And people take the bait.
Yes. I want to elevate the conversation, Jeff Kerr. Get Kansas City the hell out of there. I don't know who's going to beat them in that shitty.
Yeah, who's going to beat them? That's the problem.
That's the problem. Yes.
I mean, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't doing it.
No.
The Bills maybe, but I don't know if they're going to win their division.
I don't think the Colts are doing
it. I don't like the Bills. I don't. They have a great quarterback and a mediocre team. That's the Bills.
Yeah. And the Patriots are getting a great quarterback. They have a
Well,
mediocre
Patriots,
team.
I'm starting to like the Patriots.
I like the Patriots.
great
I like the Patriots winning again. It's
I like
Bill Belichick being gone makes me happy.
Drake May is the only of these young quarterbacks over the past 2 years who looks like an NFL quarterback.
He looked like one last year, and the Patriots were terrible. Best offseason was the Patriots, and it happened before the offseason. They fired
Mike Vrabel's a good coach. Maybe I'll get on that. Well, I got to root for Indy first because of Shane, but I think Indy's got a shot.
Indy's playing really good.
Do you know the Patriots under Mike Vrabel have more wins this year than the Titans have combined since they fired Mike Vrabel?
The Titans are abject to say. If you're feeling bad about yourself, just say, "Hey, I'm not the Tennessee Titans." What a terrible.
I did the 5 worst teams in the NFL, and Colts fans always love to tell me this every single week, and I tell them I was dead wrong, but 4 I was dead right on. The Titans and the Jets, I thought they were going to be god awful. I think
the Titans are worse than the Jets. I mean, I think
they are too. The Jets they're close to having 2 or 3 wins. It's coaching with the Jets.
Yeah, I think that the Jets are slightly better.
They play each other.
I think they'll beat the Titans pretty good.
Guys, what about?
I think they will too.
What about the NFC East?
I think the Eagles are going to win that division.
John, was what? The Cowboys would get second in the East because Jaden Daniels and the Commanders would regress. That was one of
they certainly, a lot of injuries. Certainly, he got hurt again. And that's part of it. And that's, but Dak's playing great. Dak, if they had a better defense, and Eagles fans aren't going to like this, he'd be in the MVP conversation. That's how well he's playing.
You know how good the Cowboys are when they have CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens together? This is insane, like what they're doing.
I don't think Jerry's going to pay George, and it's actually might not be a knock on Jerry.
He has the same agent as Micah.
Well, I don't care about that. I actually don't think this is going to be a knock on Jerry because if you think about it, George is going to want wide receiver 1 money. Rightfully so, as most people would. And if he's not willing to take a deal like DeVonta took in Philly, I don't think Jerry's going to pay him. It's going to be too much. You can't pay him unless he takes it from
This is what bothered me about them trading Micah Parsons because you traded for George Pickens. I'm like, dude, you have everything you need to win 12 games, and you decided
if they didn't trade Micah Parsons, they'd be a Super Bowl contender.
They would
with the way Dak is playing.
I'm telling you, the Cowboys care more about how Dak Prescott plays than actually winning football games.
He's playing well, man.
I know.
Playing well.
I had some guy tweet to me yesterday. I think he was joking around, but still it was funny. He said, "I understand Stats FC," which I guess is what people online use for people who only care about stats. I understand Stats FC. This shit feels better than the Super Bowl. Because Jalen Hurts threw for 326 and 3 tutties. I was cracking up, man.
That's because people are silent about Jalen this week. The whole he can't throw nonsense. Again, that's where John goes to the whole lowest common denominator thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Everybody goes, I want Joe Burrow to be my quarterback.
And the good thing is with that, and we'll get some Brandon Graham news early this week, probably today, but definitely
today.
John, you're like that's a definite.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a definite. I don't like it.
But you won't. I don't like it either. But I like Brandon. Brandon's tremendous, dude. But I just don't. Like. And I thought
it's a good ending. I hope it doesn't sour that beautiful ending that he had.
Well, it's probably going to.
It's going to. It doesn't get any better. By the way, John, I didn't catch this week when Zadarius Smith was gone. He had Brandon's locker, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So it was locker.
So the locker's open. The locker's ready to go. But I think Nakobe. We brought him up a little bit. Nakobe played great, man.
He was awesome yesterday.
It was good to see him running around, and obviously, Jahad Campbell got some extra reps. Aziz got hurt too, so that helped on the edge when they had Nakobe in. And
they had no edge rusher. This is why they have to do this.
Well, he didn't do much, but still, I'm thinking to myself, if you throw him into the deep end of the pool, and Jahad I'm talking about, eventually the athletic ability is going to take over to a certain extent. I you know, I think that's better when you have Nakobe Dean. Get your best players on the field.
Yeah, man.
And you can't get Nakobe on the field if Jihad's on the field playing off-ball line.
John,
I mean, Nakobe
Nakobe's
sounded
playing?
shocked he only got 6 special team snaps, but he said
Well, he's won it. Yeah, he was chomping at the bit to get
Well,
back.
that's a tough injury to come back from, as we've talked about that. That's I mean,
Yeah.
he looks like
it is, but he looked
right where
great.
he left
Man.
off.
He looked great. He looked
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, he deserves definitely some credit for that, man. That's impressive.
Yeah, and he played great last season. I think people forget for whatever reason.
I don't think they forgot. I just think it's been so long that he played. I remember when he got hurt, a lot of Eagles fans were concerned, like, oh, there it goes. Like, we can't afford to lose him. And Warren Burks did a great job.
Yeah. Warren did do a great job.
Yeah, really.
That's
good.
part of it too. So everybody's like, well, he did it. So anybody could do it. It's one of those things where, if you want to go way back to that a more high profile position, that's like, I would always try to explain people, Nick Foles. I mean, you don't want him playing 17 games, but he got hot at the right time. You don't want defensively, you don't want Warren Burks playing 17 games, but he got hot at the right time. Yeah. Same thing. But
well, I got a lot of heat yesterday, John, for saying Makuba's a very good football player, and
I
forgot players can't get better. Everybody goes, he misses this, he does this, he does this. I'm like, guys, he's played like 6 games.
He's gonna have mistakes. He made some crucial mistakes, but overall, he's showing that he's capable for sure.
Do people not watch college football at all? It's like a missed tackle fest.
It really is.
They probably couldn't even tell you what school he went to without looking it up.
I can tell you both.
I know you can. You watch college football.
You
do too, Zander.
I love college. College football is having a great season right now, and I'm loving what my Bama team is doing. Obviously,
by the way, Zander, we have to laugh at this. We have to laugh at this in Happy Valley. I've heard from enough people that Penn State is actually trying to pry Caden DeBoer away from Alabama, and I just laugh. I'm like, hey, good luck with that.
Well, is that something you think Kalen DeBoer would consider?
I don't know.
Why would he consider that?
Yeah, like it's Alabama, right? That's a better job than Penn State.
Dude, Alabama, and the facility they have there, everything. I mean, it's
I know.
top of the line.
You're better off going. I know Mike Elko's another guy they're going after too. They have a much better chance of getting Elko, I think, than
I know. No, I don't know. Nobody's got
Texas
more money
A&M's got unlimited
A&M.
resources too.
Yeah. Everybody's mad at me this week. Bama ain't doing shit this year, bozo. Oh, fuck you, almighty Lambo, bitch.
Isn't Bama like a top 10 team right now?
They're going to be top 5. 3 or 4 after this week. After their Tennessee win.
I have no idea who's going to win the national championship. I really don't.
Doesn't matter because now it's actually a real playoff system. So it doesn't matter your ranking. You're going to get in. You're in. Then you got to go win.
That was Bama's problem last year. They didn't get in. If they got in, they might have made a run last year.
Yeah,
I think
they were hot.
Yeah, I think the reason Signetti signed that is because Penn State was calling him.
Yeah. Oh no, that's exactly the reason. I was told that.
Why else does he get a contract right after week 4 or week 5, whatever it was?
Everybody says, the agent wanted that out. I said, yeah, because Penn State was going to offer him that money.
Exactly right.
He was clearly considering that.
Yeah. Why wouldn't he? You're going to get Matt Rule. Get used to it.
I already have that entrenched in my mind.
And have that goofy Pat Holmes cosplay.
You fired James Franklin for James Franklin.
Did you see him on game day, James Franklin?
Oh, of course I did.
What'd you think?
Where was he?
He was on.
I thought it was a good PR hit for him. I really did.
I did too. Honestly,
softball questions, but James answered it. James is really good at that. I like what Nick Saban said.
How about Saban going at Penn State?
You know what? I agree with Saban to an extent, but I will say this. Nick Saban won championships. James Franklin didn't. And James Franklin kept saying for years, oh, if I have this, I have this. If I have this, the NIL's there. If I get the 5-star recruits, well, you had it and you went 3-3, dude. So
I think Saban understands though where Franklin pulled that, that program from. And I think even
I agree.
Franklin enough
James Franklin and Bill O'Brien saved Penn State football. Penn State fans do not want to admit that.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll tell you who I'm rooting for. Jeff, you know who I'm rooting for. The Vandy Commodores. That's
with
my
Derek
club.
Key.
Like
Yeah.
Padilla?
That's my club. I love that quarterback.
I have a
love
couple of friends that go to Vanderbilt, and I'll tell you that I've been to 2 Vanderbilt games. It has changed so much since the last time I went there in terms of the facilities, the stadium. NIL came in, man. That opened the door for a couple schools. Vanderbilt was one of them.
Yeah, Diego Pavia. Now
Yeah.
he's only a college player. He doesn't translate to the NFL.
He's a
but
great college player.
He is a great college player. And I think he's trying to play 10 years in college because they make a shitload of money.
I can't blame him.
I mean, I don't blame him.
He is an unbelievable college player. I mean, they're competing with Alabama. They beat them last year. They ran with them again this year. They had a really tough game.
Bama had them beat if you watch that full game.
But they beat them last year. I was
talking
talking to Tyler Steen. Tyler Steen played at Vanderbilt, and then he transferred his final year to Alabama. He played 4 years at Vanderbilt. He loved that game. That last year they upset Alabama. That's the biggest probably win in school history.
Your game day's going to Vanderbilt this week.
Is it?
Vanderbilt, Missouri. Yeah.
That kid, man.
Missouri has come alive too. I like their quarterback.
That's another guy, Penn State.
Yeah, Penn State
wants. They want Eli Drinkwitz. I'm like, can he take Bo Prabula back with him?
Yeah, there's a SEC show on Netflix and that's where I learned about Diego Pavia. Boy, you talk about confidence. I always talk about confidence being a big thing with players. You watch that show, you figure it out because that dude, he thinks he's winning every game, no matter what you tell him.
Did you guys hear him yesterday? We ain't losing another effing game.
Yeah, similar.
I don't think he said that. I think someone took that and tweeted that, but that's not what he actually said. I think he said we're not losers anymore.
We're not losers.
We're not losers anymore.
But he said, someone put out, "We're never losing again." I'm like, oh, I don't think Jalen Hurts said that, guys. But anyway, it was a good.
Tim Tebow said that once, though.
Well, Tim was
we're not losing another game the rest of the season.
Tim was a great. The difference is Tim Tebow was a great college player. So was Diego Pavia. Jalen Hurts is a great pro player.
Yeah. Tim Tebow would have been a great H-back in the NFL if he would have actually swallowed some pride.
And by the way, it's a lot easier to win in college than it is in the NFL. A lot easier. These high-level schools, they got 3 or 4 games. By
the way, Zander, your coach, Nick Saban, broke the mold for playing top schools. They're like, well, Alabama's a winning record against top 5 and top 10 programs, so everybody's got to do it. I'm like, no, most people are kind of like James Franklin. They have like a 250 win percentage against top 10 schools. But it's just magnified.
They only have 3 games they have to worry about every year.
I'll tell you who else is doing good with that.
Year.
Kalen DeBoer. He's winning. He's winning the tough games and not winning some of the games that he shouldn't, man.
That's where Bama fans are getting upset. He's losing the games he shouldn't lose.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Nick Saban just didn't lose at all.
That's true. Nick Saban was a beast, man.
Don't lose.
All right, Jeff. Good show, man. Appreciate you joining in. What will the narrative be, Jeff, after next week? And I know it's early to say that, but man, it feels like every fucking week this team flips us on our head. What do you think, Jeff?
You know what the narrative is going to be going into the bye week? The Eagles are a Super Bowl contender, and they're going to be 6-2.
I agree.
And that's all I'm going to – I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to find a way to beat the crap out of the Giants, who will be reeling because the Giants are a loser organization. They've always been a loser organization, as you saw yesterday. They have a losing culture in New York, and that Eagles win in Week 6 was their Super Bowl.
And that's why the grit continues, because how do you go from an abject disaster where everybody hates each other to a Super Bowl contender in 2 weeks? How do you do it, Jeff?
It's a week-to-week league.
Because it's all bullshit. And then meetings. Yeah, they already had their first of 75 meetings this week.
Yeah, did you know they talked in the parking lot? I'm telling you, it's people want that F1 drive to survive mentality in the NFL, and you're not getting it.
I agree. All right, Jeff, good stuff, man. We got to run. Appreciate you doing it today, brother.
Anytime, guys. Thanks.
All right, see you, bud.